Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live show on the Alice Talks Football YouTube channel with lots to talk about, mostly talking about the state Manchester United Football Club is in. I cannot take this football club seriously. Amazon, you missed out of your All or Nothing documentary. Why have you gone to Arsenal? Because they're no longer Banter FC. We're Banter FC. There could basically be a reality TV show on Manchester United right now because we are literally an absolute comedy show. I generally think that Love Island is run better than this freaking club right now. Because you know what? This season's been a shithole. I mean, this season has been an absolute shithole this season. We all know that. But everything that's happened this season, the leak stories under Ollie, the leak stories coming out within a month under Ragnick, the new manager, the sackings, the coaches going, the fallout between Ronaldo and players, the owners not getting a CDM, the Donny treatment, the Martial treatment, the Ragnick says Martial doesn't want to play, Martial jumps on social media and says, no, that's lying. Like when Ollie said Martial was injured and his girlfriend jumped on social media saying, no, he's not injured. What is going on at this football club? And to top it all off, do you know what this football club did yesterday? Do you know what this bloody football club did yesterday? They went and said 50 appearances to Donny van de Beek. I thought, what an actual piss take. Now, for some reason, my freaking... Why am I so laggy? Why am I so laggy? I don't know. We're so laggy, guys. So, because we're really laggy, I'm just going to share my screen with this. I'll just share my screen with this because we're really laggy at the moment. And I don't want it to be all blurry. But we're an absolute circus. We're absolute circus. And just to finish the circus off, we got a set piece coaching. We got a set piece coaching in the summer. And this is our record from set pieces. Just to rub it in how much of a circus we are. But what I do want to say is, and I'm going to have to get the freaking thing back on the screen so you're not going to see me. But what I do want to say is, all right, guys, before I get into the content, before I get into the Donny news, before I get into the news about like 1,000 other people, before I get into the Martial news, before I give my opinion on that, this video is sponsored by Manscaped. Pinned in the chat and in the description, you can go over to manscaped.com. And if you use the code ATF at checkout, you can get 20% off Manscaped and free shipping. So 20% off Manscaped and free shipping, guys, is a bloody good deal. So this is now your opportunity to go over to Manscaped. They sell stuff to keep your balls intact. They sell stuff to keep your balls brilliant over at Manscaped, and you can get 20% off. One of their best items is the Lawnmower 4.0 ball trimmer. The Law Powerful 4.0 ball trimmer allows you to customize your trim for additional guard lengths with sizes 1 to 4. And they know what they say. Trimming in the bush makes the tree look longer. And look, I'm a girl. I don't use Manscaped. I don't have balls, believe it or not. But majority of my viewers do have balls. And from a woman's perspective, if you do use Manscaped, the girls do prefer it. The girls do prefer it. But go check out Manscaped, 20% off. Now is your chance to get free shipping and 20% off. So why not check out Manscaped? But let's get back into the video. Hopefully I'm not blurry. If I am blurry, let me know, because for some reason my Wi-Fi is being like, F this, F that, F this, F that stupid Wi-Fi. Honestly. But it's Ralf versus Martial. Like, what is this Ralf versus Martial shit, man? I don't know. I don't know. I will say this. I don't know who to believe. I'm not going to take a side because I don't know the facts. But we can all agree Manchester United has a track record for not treating players well, especially non-English players. Over the years, there is a track record at Manchester United when a non-English player leaves Manchester United, they leave on a sour note. Because we do not treat them well, we hold them against their will, we do not give them what they wanted. Manchester United is known for being a bit of a Brexit FC. Let's be honest. And I think Martial has been treated badly by the club, okay? I think the media likes to make out that Martial's the bad guy. Like the media likes to make out that Paul Pogba's the bad guy. But I stand by that I think the club has treated Martial poorly. Ollie said Martial couldn't play because he was injured. Ollie lied. Ragnick said that Martial didn't want to be in the squad. Martial's saying he's lying. I'm not taking sides. I'm not taking sides. That's not my position. I don't know the facts and things. But what I will say about Martial is the club hasn't treated him brilliantly. The club has not treated Martial brilliantly. He's been frozen out under Mourinho. He's had Ollie treating him bad towards the end of his spell. Ragnick's not giving him a chance. The only manager that ever treated Martial well was Van Gaal. And we can all agree on that, was Van Gaal. And he was brilliant under Van Gaal. And I think Martial's a confidence player. And I think if he's not backing the manager and the manager's not backing him, he's not going to perform. Not that I'm making up an excuse for Martial. But I will say, Martial, I don't think has been treated particularly well at Manchester United. However, I'm not one to say Ralf Rangnick is lying. I don't, is Martial the one leaking the dressing room stories? Is Martial the one causing the problems? I don't know. But I will say Manchester United have a reputation for treating players badly. We have whenever a player leaves Manchester United, Lukaku on a sour note. Now, Lukaku's definitely an issue. We've seen that at Chelsea. But whenever a player leaves Manchester United, it seems to be on a sour note. Sanchez, Lukaku, Mkhitaryan, they've not got one nice thing to say about the club. Di Maria. Now, we don't have many nice things to say about a lot of the players I named, but you get where I'm coming from. The treatment of Donny van de Beek, absolutely disgraceful. But what I will want to say, what I do want to say is when Martial wanted to leave, the board wouldn't let him leave. Martial wants to go on loan. We're not playing when he was not going out on loan. I would be frustrated if I was Martial. But what I will say is Manchester United are a disgrace. Manchester United are a circle. And Amazon, you really should have put your All or Nothing documentary on Manchester United because it is prime reality TV viewing. It is prime reality TV viewing. I will say that. But Martial should not be putting that on Instagram. Now, if I was Martial, I'd put the same thing on Instagram. If Ralf Ragnick said I didn't want to play for Man United and I did, I'd be pissed off. Of course, I put it out on Instagram. But as a professional, Manchester, and that's a professional football club, a football club that wants to be taken seriously, Manchester United, they should be dealing with Martial. We've had all these leaked reports. We've had absolutely sour leaked reports for months on end. And then Martial goes and tweets that and is like, the manager's a liar. That's just going to stir the pot more at Manchester United. And someone higher up at this club, someone on PR should be dealing with this. Now, I understand why Martial put that out, but they should be dealing with this. I don't know who's lying, Ragnick. I don't know who's lying if Martial's lying. But someone at this club needs to be dealing with this because we are shambles. The leak stories, oh my God, Ronaldo's telling me what to do in training. He's so horrible stories. Oh yeah, it's been a month, Ragnick shit, don't want him. Oh, the coaches are shit. Oh, the coaches are making us work. Every story at Manchester United should be coming out. Harry Maguire, as captain, it's your duty to try and control those players a little bit better in the changing room. Martial, as a professional footballer, you shouldn't be putting that on social media because it is stirring the pot. But I understand why you put it on social media because I'd be pissed off if Ragnick was lying about it as well. And you have been treated badly by the club. But we shouldn't be letting this happen in the first place. We should not be letting any of this happen in the first place. And Man United, as a football club, need to, honestly... Man, Alfred says Martial was lying. Guys, what? Let me know in the comments. Do you believe Ragnick? Do you believe Martial? Or are you a bit like me where you think maybe there's a bit of truth in both of them and maybe there's a big misunderstanding going on? Maybe Ragnick's been told something. Maybe Ragnick's misinterpreted something. Maybe Martial got his English mixed up. I don't know. I'm a bit in the middle. I'm a bit on the fence. But who are you? Team Martial, Team Ragnick? And all of that. Daniel Sterling says that he reckons Martial will not be at Manchester United in the summer. I don't think Martial will be at Manchester United in the summer. But I tell you what, I would be playing anti-Martial if I was Ralf Ragnick because I think we fucking need him. But someone also said, oh, I don't blame Martial if he doesn't want to be in the squad because why would you want to go to Villa and sit on the bench? Because he's paid 200 grand a week to do that. Okay? Martial's paid 200 pound a week. He should be wanting to sit on that bench, even if he's sitting on the bench because he's paid 200 grand a week. Martial's been treated a little bit better than Donny van de Beek. He still sits on the bench. Donny apparently has got a good bum. He keeps the bench warm. But yeah, we do want to get into Donny van de Beek and all of that. So, Lou Manu says, Alice, let's get in Rooney and clean the mess. I'm not taking any club legends back. I will take Wayne Rooney at Manchester United. If he goes over to Everton, does a fucking cracking job, then I'll let him in. But unless a manager does a good job in the Premier League, they're not having a job at Man United. Or a good job in the Champions League. I will not take Rooney at Man United unless he does a fucking brilliant job wherever he goes in the Premier League. It gets top four with a smaller club in the Premier League. You've got to prove yourself before you come to Manchester United. Robert says the team is a train wreck and with players and the managers. There's just a lack of respect at Manchester United at the moment. I think the disrespect towards Ralf Rangnick, I've not been particularly impressed with. I think Ralf Rangnick's come in, he's new country, new league, and within a month players have turned on Ralf Rangnick. And a lot of the reason players have turned on Ralf Rangnick is because Ralf Rangnick's telling them to up their game. He wants them to work harder on training. He wants them to run more. And some of the players are lazy with bad attitude. The same reason some of the players are turning on Ronaldo because they don't like Ronaldo telling them to step up. Man United need to play for Ragnick. We gave Ollie a new manager bounce. We ain't even given Ragnick a new manager bounce. And some of these players that all they've got on their profiles being relegated 4 times think they're too good to be playing under Ragnick and his coaches, when Ragnick actually is more experienced than a lot of the players. Now, I was disappointed in Ragnick, and I do blame Ragnick for the loss. I think he should have changed the midfield. I think he was naive not to shut down shop. But I think that some of the players turning on him, leaking stories within a month, wanting him gone, I think that's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. You've got to just get on with it and fucking man up. I feel sorry for Donny. I feel sorry for Lingard. Coming on for 2 minutes was an absolute piss take. Maybe I do feel sorry for Martial if that story is true. But again, I don't want to comment on it. But I will say the players were a bigger problem at Manchester United than the coach. The coaching staff isn't brilliant. Ralf Rangnick I think, lost us the game. He's been naive. The board and the owners are a fucking mess. We all know that. But the players need to sort themselves out. The leaking stories, the social media, the disrespect, it's like an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians right now, Manchester United. It's honestly like watching an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We are social media FC. All we're doing is writing paragraphs saying sorry on social media, then leaking all these stories, then playing crap, then fall out on social media. I mean, honestly, I don't know if it's a mix of Love Island with Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but instead of can I pull you for a chat, I'm just going to put it up on social media. We're an absolute mess of a football club at the moment, and it's very, very frustrating. SX16 has put in the chat, at this point, how long can we go? Because when we think we now should rise, because we are at the bottom, we dig more to find a new bottom. I'm just tired. And look, I get your comment. Man United, I feel like we've hit rock bottom, but then we just go, you know what? Let's smash that rock and keep going. Like, we are digging a hole for ourselves. And Man United have been digging a hole all season. We're hitting rock bottom. We've been bad. But when Man United were digging a hole for themselves, they just thought we're just going to dig a normal hole. We're going to get out of it. We've digged a hole as big as a freaking Grand Canyon. And we can't get out of that hole because we're just digging it and digging it. We're going, you know what? This hole wasn't big enough. Let's make the Grand Canyon. Let's sink into that hole. Because that's what I feel like we are as a football club. I mean, Robert says that Man United should be named a narrative FC. And Danny says that there's no leaders in the chat. And look, Soap Opera FC says, Gaz, exactly. No leaders. Maguire, step up. You're meant to be captain. And then Daniel says, maybe Ralf Rangnick is struggling with man management, so many egos in the dressing room. And that's a very good comment there from Daniel in the chat. Is Ralf Rangnick struggling to deal with the egos in the dressing room? Because I tell you what, there is an ego problem at Manchester United. If you don't think there's an ego problem at Manchester United, I'll be shocked. Because the fact that some players at Manchester United refuse to take advice from Cristiano Ronaldo and don't like Cristiano Ronaldo giving them advice proves that there's an ego problem at Manchester United. Because some of these players think they're too big and too cool to take advice from Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, Cristiano Ronaldo's saying, Maguire, you need to step up your game. You need to do better in training. F Ronaldo, why is he telling me what to do? No, your mentality as a Man United player should be like, Ronaldo's won it all at Man United. He knows how you need to be in training. He knows the mentality you need to have. He knows how you need to be to win all. So rather than ignoring Ronaldo and getting pissed off at him, take on his advice. And that shows there's a big ego problem at Man United. Tony Marshall says Ralf is like, let me know in the chat, guys, Team Ralf or Team Marshall, or are you like me where you're just like, you know what, I don't know the facts. I'm not taking a side. I'm going to sit on the fence about it. But what I do want to talk about is Mr. Eric Ramsey stealing a living, and then we will talk about Donny van der Beek. Andrew says Ralf is the one who put it out there. Martial was responding to a public attack on his character. Tony wants to leave and he should go. No reason for Ralf Rangnick to do that. I do agree. I would have responded if I was Martial, but I still think, you know, the club should have just not put it out there in the first place. And we're just dealing with things very, very badly. But smash a like on the video, subscribe down below and all that. We've got a Liverpool fan that likes my rants, and hopefully there won't be many more rants on the channel, because hopefully Manchester United will get their stuff together and start bloody performing. But let's talk about Eric Ramsey, guys. Let's get the screen back on, because this is an absolute joke. This is an absolute joke, man. I wanted to bring this up. I tweeted this today. Man United have one of the worst defensive records from set pieces and the worst attacking record for set pieces. Yet we brought in a brand new set piece coach in the summer. And I said on my tweet today, I said, Eric Ramsey is stealing a living at Manchester United. And I stick with that. Oh, I think we've taken, and this is just the Premier League. We've taken nearly 140 corners in all competitions and not scored from a single one of them. Not scored from an absolute single one of them. And we've got in this young set piece coach. Do you know why we brought in Eric Ramsey? Do you want to know why we brought in Eric Ramsey? Because Kieran McKenna, who isn't at the club anymore, is friends with Eric Ramsey and told the owners, oh, I'm friends with this guy, he's a good coach. So our owners listen to Kieran McKenna, that's now losing games with Ipswich, and bringing his mate as a set piece coach. And we wonder why we've taken nearly 150 corners in all competitions this season and not scored from a single one. I mean, you can blame the players a little bit. The players should be doing better, but I mean, as a set piece coach, this is what you employed to do. And not only are we absolutely shocking defensively from corners, but offensively, we're an absolute disgrace from corners. We haven't scored from a corner this bloody season, and some of the deliveries are crap. And the most irritating thing is, as soon as we put a corner in, half the time we don't even have a shot on target. Half the time it's Villa heading it out, and then Fred kicking it back in, and it goes to Martinez, goal kick. We are absolutely atrocious on corners, and we've brought in a new set-piece coach because he's McKenna's friend, and I thought he'd be a good set-piece coach. I thought, you know what, he's at Chelsea, he's young, he's got a good record. No, he's absolutely crap, and he's on that bench with Ralf Rangnick, with the assistants, giving Ralf Rangnick orders. whoever our set-piece coach is, he is not qualified to be a set-piece coach at Manchester United. And the worst part about Eric Ramsey is he's one of the people giving Ralf Ragnick input. He's probably one of the people out there going, oh, you know, don't put Donny on, keep Fred and Matic on for 90 minutes. Oh, we must play Scott McTominay. Oh, Scott McTominay. Oh, he's probably one of those. Because I absolutely do not understand why we're so shit at set pieces. Like, we weren't good at set pieces last season, but at least we scored from some. We almost conceded a set piece to Villa again if it wasn't for a De Gea save. I think we conceded a set piece to Villa when we lost to them, but I think that one was offside, was it? We've conceded so many set pieces this season. We have the worst defensive record from set pieces, and we have the worst attacking record from set pieces. And set pieces is a big part of football. Set pieces can win and lose games. There was a statistic I saw when I did some journal article researching that actually said that set pieces contribute to like 12-point-something% of wins. You know, 12-point-something% wins, you know. Okay, 38, okay, 12, that's about 4 games. That's 12 points. Set pieces can get you, on average, around 12 extra points. And we're just crap at them. We're absolutely crap at them. And I just think this board, these owners, they don't care about our club. We know they don't care about our club. That everyone knows they don't care about the club. But what I want to say is, our board, our owners, have brought in a set-piece coach with no experience because he's friends with McKenna. They've employed some absolute shocking coaches for a while, and they're still reluctant to buy a CDM. Despite watching every game this season, and it's obvious we need a CDM or we're not getting top 4, our owners think, no, CDM, nah. Set-piece coach, oh, he's new, he's young, he's friends with McKenna, cool. They took no pride in who the coaches are at this club. The board don't know anything about this club because if they did, they'd be buying a CDM, and they're just happy to see shit, mediocre coaches coaching good players and not getting the best out of good players because Greenwood's declined, Rashford's declined, Martial's declined because of the coaches that we can't score a set piece for, which contributes to about 12 points a season minimum. No, our coaches our board just don't care because they get a CDM. Thank you very much, Perra, for the super chat. I play CDM, and if it wasn't for the fact I live in Canada and support one of our biggest rivals, I feel I could be what United needs in midfield. Honestly, come play CDM for Man United because you could probably do a better job than what we have. I generally think my phone could sit in the midfield on that big pitch and do a better job than our CDM because, honestly, our midfield is so bad. What sums up the midfield for me? What really sums up the Manchester United midfield for me was the fact, I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh yeah, it was the fact that we played Newcastle, bottom of the league Newcastle, who are absolutely shite, who Cambridge United beat the week later. We played Newcastle with Joel Linton out of position in midfield and Longstaff. Longstaff and Joel Linton controlled the midfield against McTominay and Fred. Now, if you thought, you know, we're saying we don't want Joel Linton, we don't want Longstaff, but the fact Joel Linton and Longstaff controlled the midfield ahead of McTominay and Fred shows how bad our midfielders are. Because I always say games are won and lost in midfield because games are controlled in midfield. Games are 100% controlled in midfield. And if you don't control a game, and Ralf Rangnick's preaching control, it's hard to win a game because you're going to have less of the ball. It's just, oh. And man, we are shocking. I don't know how we haven't signed a CDM. We are halfway through the January transfer window. There's no indication that we're going to sign a CDM. There's a few rumours, there's a few links, which come out after we lose or drop points as a PR spin. But there's no actual indication that Man United are going to go out there and sign a CDM, which I think is an absolute joke. Because our midfield is so bad. Like, our midfield is absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. We made Joe Linton and Longstaff look good against the Newcastle side that Cambridge United could beat easily. Am I seriously thinking Cambridge United could have a better midfield than Man United? Because if Cambridge United can control the midfield against Newcastle and Man United can't, maybe I'm right when I said we have League One midfielders. Maybe I'm actually right. Because the state of this midfield is an absolute joke, isn't it? Absolute joke. And I just do not understand for the life of me how the Glazers have not even thought, oh, you know what? We should probably change that. Glazers, you care about top 4, you care about money. The Glazers don't want to spend money and get a CDM, but what the Glazers don't realise is because they're absolutely thick, they're shit businessmen, so they went freaking bankrupt, they're in debt. What the Glazers don't understand is if they spend the money on a CDM, we can get top 4 and they get that money back. If you don't buy a CDM, we're just going to have to spend the money on a CDM in summer and not get top 4 and have less money in your pockets. So the fact that the Glazers aren't even looking to get a CDM is a bloody joke because we actually need a CDM. absolutely stupid. And Man United just cap at corners because they have no desire to score from corners. You need determination and ferocity, maybe, but I doubt it. Ralph's the problem. Look, it's the same stuff we saw under Ollie. You know, I think I blamed Ollie. I blamed the coaches. I did, but you know what? I'm not going to do that because new manager, same stuff. I refuse to blame anyone. Fred plus Muck equals McDonald's. Honestly, I mean, they're about as useful as a freaking McDonald's, aren't they? And you lot are bad. You won't make top 4 in Bundesliga. We might make top 4 in Bundesliga. It's a bit of a farmers league, but we are absolutely awful. And we are Banter FC. You know, Arsenal have been Banter FC for 5 years. Arsenal have been Banter FC for 5 years. And all of a sudden, Arsenal get this all or nothing documentary, Amazon Prime, and we're thinking, oh, we can sit back and enjoy the collapse of Arsenal, enjoy the Banter FC documentary, watch it unfold and laugh. No, they're Arsenal having a good season. We are playing atrocious. And all Amazon are thinking is, fucking hell, why didn't we do Man United? Why didn't we do that? That's better entertainment than keeping up with the Kardashians. You know, absolute joke. Absolute joke of a club, aren't we? Absolute joke. It's insane. Don't they see how many mids we are likely losing between now and next season, yet they don't want to spend it on one midfielder? That's another point from Andrew. Manchester United are losing Matic on a free in the summer, Paul Pogba on a free in the summer, and surely Donny van der Beek's going to leave in the summer, meaning the only midfielders left at Manchester United in the summer will be McTominay and Fred, and we all know about McTominay and Fred. McTominay and Fred will get us relegated. If we didn't have the Ronaldo, if we didn't have De Gea, McTominay and Fred would get us relegated. Yet they might be the only midfielders at Manchester United in the summer with Matic, Pogba and Donny going. And you know what? Donny could easily stay if we played him and gave him a chance. Oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. Oh, we can't give Donny a chance. No. Darren Fletcher wanking off to McTominay. No. McTominay's got to start every game. We were better without McTominay. We are a better team without McTominay. I do not care what you say because we can move the ball quicker. We are. McTominay, when he plays to the box next to a good C name, is good. McTominay in the dual pivot, not the man. You know what? I don't like. We should be signing a CDM in January, and then we should also be signing another 2 midfielders in the bloody summer because we don't just need 1 midfielder. We need about 3. We need a CDM. Let's go for Tchouameni. Okay, but on top of Tchouameni, we might need another CDM in HAIDARA if we're going to play 2 in the pivot. But we're also going to need a creative midfielder to replace Paul Pogba and Donny. So you're looking at maybe Tchouameni. You're looking at maybe HAIDARA, but you also need a box-to-box. You know, otherwise we're going to have no creativity from midfield. We're going to almost defensive reliance. I don't get how we done that. Look, Aston Villa have brought in Buendia, Coutinho, McGinn, Digne, Ings. They could actually play better football than us. Aston Villa are also interested in Basuma, who we should be all over. But the fact is, Aston Villa have more ambition than Manchester United. The way that the Aston Villa owner came out when Grealish was sold, explained how they're replacing Grealish, the comments the Aston Villa owners come out with, the fact that they brought Digne and Coutinho in the transfer window and looking at Basuma shows the ambition of Aston Villa compared to the ambition of Manchester United. And if we're not careful, Aston Villa will finish above us in a few seasons. Clip this right now, because if Manchester United are not careful, Aston Villa will finish above us in a couple seasons. Thank you very much for the super chat, Pero. Gattuso should be interim manager because he has the personality to deal with the players, where Ragnick has the knowledge but not the personality. That's a very good comment from Pero, guys. Let me know what you think on Pero's comment in the chat, because Ragnick is a tactician. He's a very clever man. And I think the biggest thing about Ragnick coming to Manchester United is not what he's going to do as interim manager, but actually what he's going to do when he gets the consultancy role on the board, how he's going to take control of the club. Are we going to bring in the right players? Are we going to get rid of the right players and all of that? But I do think, you know, I feels like Ralf Ragnick could be another yes man. I feel maybe you have to be a yes man to get employed by Manchester United, because we were sceptical about Ralf Ragnick at first, and all of a sudden we jumped to him. Maybe because he's another yes man. I don't know. I don't want to jump to that conclusion. But the fact that Ralf Ragnick is letting Fletcher talk in his ear, playing, play McTominay, play Fred, can't play Donny, I know you want control, but no, can't play Donny. It's like, I feel like he's listening to what the club's telling him to do, Ralf Ragnick. Because I don't believe a clever man like Ralf Ragnick seriously thinks bringing Donny and Jesse Lingard on for 2 minutes is going to change the game. Like, does anyone think that? Like, does Fletcher even think that? I think maybe Ralf Ragnick is listening to someone higher up, and maybe he doesn't have the balls to take control of the dressing room. Maybe he's not the man to take control. Maybe you're absolutely correct with that. Maybe you are. But maybe we needed a Conte. Maybe. But again, Ralf Ragnick isn't the problem at this club. You know, I think no matter the manager, they're always going to struggle with these players. The fact that some of the players' attitude at Manchester United is, oh my God, who are you, Cristiano Ronaldo? Oh, some of the players at Manchester United won nothing in their whole career, will not take criticism from Cristiano Ronaldo because they think they're better than him. That's the attitude of some of the players at this club. So, yeah. Mata and Lingard going off as well. So many wages off the books, and the players could sell, but they do sod all. Yeah, this is the thing. We're going to lose Mata, Lingard, Donny, Pogba, and Matic all in the summer. So the only three midfielders at Manchester United will be Bruno and McFred, and we know Bruno and McFred don't work. And, you know, Manchester United can't sign more than one player in one position in the summer, and we're going to have to sign at least three midfielders in the summer. So United, save yourself a little bit of work and sign a midfielder now in January. Honestly, sign a midfielder now in January. As Diego says, guys, please do keep smashing the like button on today's video. Can we get to 300 likes? We've got over 300 people watching, so if everybody hits that like button, maybe we can hit 300 likes on the video. So please do go ahead and smash that like button. And by the way, guys, if you're new, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. We are 10 subscribers away. Yes, 10 subscribers away from hitting 27.2k. I need 10 more people to subscribe to hit 27.2k. So please, if you're not subscribed, do go ahead and smash that subscribe button, because I will be live Tuesday night for a Manchester United versus Brentford preview. I will be live Wednesday night for a Manchester United versus Brentford watch-along. And I'll be doing watch-alongs to every Manchester United game, as well as news, match reactions, and more. And I also want to throw out the fact that, yes, if we do sign a player in January, there'll be an update video on it. Any news about ZAKARIA, HAIDARA, any news about ins and outs in January, if we do sell Marshall, if we do bring someone in, I'll be live straight away to update you guys on it. So if you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, smash a like and subscribe. But I do want to talk about Donny van de Beek in a minute. And if Ralf has the control, he should terminate those contracts, F the board, and let them walk the force and buy new players. I mean, if only Ralf Ragnick wants a CDM, it's come out like that Ralf Rangnick is desperate for a CDM. He's really trying to convince the board to get him a CDM, but the board won't budge because they think, why should we give an interim manager a CDM when he's only here for 6 months? Why you should give Ralf Rangnick a CDM is because we won't get top four if we don't find a CDM. We desperately need a CDM. And another reason you should give Ralf Rangnick a CDM is because Ralf Rangnick has more experience than everyone on that board about recruitment. And Ralf Rangnick has recruited Kimmich, he's recruited Haaland, he's recruited Mane, he's recruited Firmino. Ralf Rangnick has more experience in recruitment than anyone on that board. And even if he's not going to be here in 6 months, he's going to recruit the right CDM for the next manager to use when he takes over. So you should be listening to Ralf Rangnick, because not only do we need one, but he's a very clever man. So I think, you know, the board are absolutely arrogant to be ignoring Ralf Rangnick. But I want to talk about some Donny van de Beek theories that I've seen, actually. There's a couple of Donny van de Beek theories out there. And let me go through my liked tweets, because I liked a couple of them. This is an absolute joke. Can we talk about the Donny van de Beek 50 appearances thing, actually? Can we talk about that? Because comedy of the season, Manchester United basically decided to put out a tweet and an Instagram post being like, congrats Donny van de Beek on 50 appearances to Manchester United. I thought, honestly, this club couldn't take the piss anymore. I can't take Manchester United seriously when we're putting out a post to congratulate Donny van de Beek on 50 appearances. I thought, you know, if this club wants to be taken seriously, they need to stop tweeting apologies every week. They need to stop tweeting when we lose games going, oh, sue. And they need to stop tweeting things like, congrats on 50 appearances, Donny van de Beek. Because if you break down Donny's 50 appearances, as you can see on my screen, if we break it down, okay, he's basically started 19 games, but only got a full 90 minutes in 9 of those 50 games. Whereas McTominay probably has a full 90 minutes in 45 of his last 50 games. You know, this season, minutes per appearance, 8.5. 8.5. I mean, it was the biggest piss take ever. Let's just congratulate Donny on 50 appearances. I thought, United, you seriously can't be taken seriously. You can't be taken seriously. Honestly. Someone said A340 says that Fred doesn't even deserve to play in the Championship. I'm not going to go on Fred, actually. I actually prefer Fred to McTominay. I think Fred's more mobile. I just think he's weak defensively. And Fred won us, you know, Fred's got us a few goals under Ragnick from his pressing. But overall, Fred and McTominay are not good enough for Man United. Fred and McTominay should only be at Manchester United to be backup bench players. You know the role Donny has at Manchester United? That should be the role Fred and McTominay have. They come in for rotation, they come off the bench, they come for a little bit of support, but they're not first-team regulars. Unfortunately, they are first-team regulars. Guys, smash a like on the video if you want to 3 Donny van de Beek. We are going to look at some of the Donny van de Beek theories and all of that. I mean, look, this is a joke. So United tweet, okay, United tweet, 2 more goals for Bruno, 50 appearances for Donny. And then we have this going on. We have this Martial, we have this Ragnick drama going on the side, whilst United FC are tweeting all these happy tweets. Oh, Donny's hit 50 appearances. Oh, Bruno scored 2 goals. United FC, you should stop freaking tweeting. Get a freaking CDM and step up, honestly. Honestly. And this is an interesting tweet for you guys. I'm just going through my Twitter feed now. Look at this. This one was funny. I did see this. Harry Kane defends training absence as Pep Guardiola leaves door open. Yep. But when Martial misses training and all of that, and when Martial doesn't want to be in the squad, everyone knows he wants out, but he's still a Manchester United employee, paid £200,000 a week, the lack of professionalism. I mean, look, this is an example of the English media agenda at its finest. Kane is not involved in the squad, doesn't matter. Martial's not involved in the squad, bad. But to be fair, Martial on £200,000 a week, if Ragnick is telling the truth, then yeah, it's bad. But over to some of the Donny van de Beek theories. Now, I generally am convinced. I am generally convinced there's more to Donny van de Beek not playing than we think. I have theories, I have speculations. I'm not here to say all my speculations, but there has to be more to Donny van de Beek not playing than you think, because the fact that two managers have completely overlooked Donny van de Beek, are only giving him 2 minutes, not playing him in the correct position and not playing him in the pivot, is an absolute disgrace. Okay, if Fred and McTominay were playing like prime Kante and prime Kimmich week in, week out, I would understand it. But Fred and McTominay have lost us more points than any other player this season. The midfield is pretty much responsible for 90% of the points dropped at Manchester United. Yet, we're not giving Donny van de Beek a chance in the midfield. Because on the few occasions Donny van de Beek has played in the pivot with Matic or played in the pivot with Fred, Donny's had a good game. Donny comes on at halftime versus Watford, shows McTominay up in the pivot. Donny starts versus Everton with Matic in the pivot, we win 4-0. Donny starts versus Wolves with Matic in the pivot, we win 2-1. We can't beat Wolves this freaking season, can we? We look the 3 or 4 games Donny started along with Matic against Premier League positions, we've controlled the game. When Manchester United, other than the first half versus Aston Villa, have not controlled a game all season. And not controlled a single game all season, other than the first half versus Aston Villa. Okay? And Ralf Rangnick keeps talking about control. We need to control the game. Ralf Rangnick, when Donny has played, he's controlled the game. We've controlled the midfield when Donny started with Matic, when Donny started with Fred. Believe it or not, we've actually got control of that midfield when Donny plays. But you're not playing him. And then you give him 2 minutes. Not 20 minutes, 2. McTominay can't play. We've literally got Fred and Matic. You still give him 2 minutes. You still overlook him, just like Ollie did. And I'm thinking, surely, when the midfield's that bad, when you're literally saying you want control and Donny van de Beek gives you that, when Donny, in the few opportunities he's had, has played really well, and you say you want him to stay, why are you not giving him more minutes? I cannot understand that. Ralf Rangnick is a very, very intelligent man, and he knows a lot about the game, but why isn't he playing Donny when Donny is a more Ralf Rangnick player than Scott McTominay? I have to believe there's more there. Now, there's theories that Darren Fletcher has a lot more say than what we think. And Darren Fletcher loves McTominay because he's Scottish and has the Donny agenda because he's a threat to McTominay. That's a theory in itself. This theory from United Analytics, again, it's speculation, but he said, if, for example, if Donny plays X amount of minutes, United to play a certain amount, it generally feels, and I'm not saying this is the case because I'm not we don't know what the case is. But I generally believe there is more to Donny not playing than we think. Because players have said Donny's good in training. It's believed that Donny's brilliant in training. A lot of people can't understand why Donny isn't playing. Yet another manager comes in and Donny still isn't playing. You've got rid of most of the coaches. You've got rid of Ollie and Donny still isn't playing. And, Ralf Rangnick's an intelligent man and he keeps talking about control. Why isn't he playing Donny? Is Ralf Rangnick that stupid? I don't think he is. I believe there's more to Donny not playing than what we think. You got the Ollie Enners, the Donny haters saying he's simply not good enough. Is McTominay good enough? Is Fred good enough? No. Are they playing a lot? Yes. How can you say Donny's not good enough when he's not been given a chance? How can you say Donny doesn't suit the physicality of the Premier League when Fred gets pushed off the ball every 4 minutes? Everything is an absolute excuse at Manchester United. I think there's more to it than this Donny. And look, there's things about Fletcher agenda. There's things about the club having Donny agenda. There's things about maybe there's something in Donny's contract that means if he plays an X amount of minutes, United have to pay Ajax more money. Maybe there's some upsells in the contract of Ajax. Maybe there's someone on the board that doesn't like Donny, but there has to be something more to the reason why Donny van de Beek is barely getting any minutes at Manchester United. Because I feel like Ralf Rangnick is a puppet to someone. I feel like maybe Donny's not good enough. Maybe Donny's crap in training and all of that. But for the few times I've seen Donny on the pitch, he's shown me something that Scott McTominay and Fred could never do. And I think just give him a chance. Just start him in the pivot of the Premier League. He won't. And I just think, how is Ralf Rangnick not playing him? Is he just crap in training? Is he just not good enough? How can we know he's not good enough if he's not had a chance to play? Because we're playing players that are not good enough week in, week out. But yeah, if Donny's not good enough, we won't even give him a chance. I just think there has to be more to it. I don't believe the fact that 2 managers will completely overlook this man. I think 2 managers are being puppet to someone a little bit higher up or someone else's advice. Because I think when the midfield has been this bad, when you've lost so many points in midfield, you have to change up the midfield, but we're not. And this is the same club that has kept Harry Maguire as captain for nearly 2 years. For 2 years now. Harry Maguire's been captain for 2 years. Manchester United are not a smart club. Maguire has been captain of this club for 2 years. This was the first game we've played all season where neither McTominay, Rashford or Maguire started. The first Premier League game we've played in nearly 3 years without McTominay, Rashford and Maguire. Nearly 3 years. This is the first game we played without McTominay, Rashford and Maguire. And how good were we for 60 minutes? You know what? The Villa game, it feels like a defeat, but was actually one of the best performances of the season. Despite the result, the Villa game was one of our best performances all season. And the thing that's telling to me about the Villa game is that is one of the few games this season where Manchester United have played without the Brexit FC players. No Rashford, no Maguire, no McTominay. And we looked a lot better for it. The 3 players that we've been saying need to be dropped because they've been consistently performing badly weren't involved. And we actually played well when we bottled it in the last 20 minutes because Ragnick didn't change the midfield. I think, that game, that 70 minutes where we were good was proof that actually if you reward players on form and not their favouritism and not because they're British, maybe we'll look a better team. Because I think Manchester United as a team, we are Britain FC. We are Brexit FC. There is someone at this club that has an agenda against foreign players because we are obsessed with British players, and the treatment the British players get compared to the treatment the foreign players get is absolutely atrocious. I genuinely believe there is someone at this club that is obsessed with British players and hates foreign players. I genuinely believe that. I do. Because we're saying that, Martial refuses to be in the squad. Martial's injured. Martial confirmed that he wasn't injured that one time he wasn't picked for the squad, and he's never refused not to be in the squad. The treatment Paul Pogba gets compared to other players, especially from the media, the way that foreign players have been kicked out of Manchester United, the way their fallout has been. The British players, McTominay, Maguire, Rashford, Dan James has played more Premier League minutes for Manchester United than Donny van de Beek this season, and Dan James left in bloody August. That's a prime example. Dan James is British. He was playing minutes after minutes after minutes. Dan James was playing over Martial. Dan James was playing over Donny. Dan James was playing over what's he called? Martial. Dan James got rewarded all these minutes. Scott McTominay got rewarded all these minutes. Marcus Rashford got rewarded all these minutes. Maguire got rewarded all these minutes. And they played crap for so many games, but they were getting rewarded these minutes. Donny can't get rewarded these minutes. Martial can't get rewarded these minutes. Bailly can't get rewarded these minutes. Bailly was fully fit. Maguire was injured. Maguire had been playing crap all season. Maguire starts, we can see 4 goals. Maguire starts the next game, even though Bailly had a brilliant game when he last played. We'll play Dan James. We'll play Dan James over Donny. We'll play Scott McTominay over Donny. I generally believe there is someone at Manchester United higher up than Ragnick that has an obsession with British players, because I do not understand how Dan James still has more minutes than Donny van de Beek this season. Dan James, Marcus Rashford, Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire played more minutes this season than they deserve, and all of them are bloody British. Who hasn't got enough minutes this season? Martial deserved more minutes, let's be honest. Donny deserved more minutes. Bailly deserved more minutes. None of them are British. Look, Fred, we're playing over the likes of Paul Pogba. Pogba's a better player than them. British FC. Brexit FC. The first game, we had 1 English player start that game. 1 British player started versus Aston Villa for Manchester United. And that was the best 45 minutes we played on a RALF RANGNICK, and only 1 British player started. And the obsession with British players, the British love at Manchester United is what's going to cost us. Because whoever it is at Manchester United that's a little bit higher up than Ragnick, that is puppeting Ragnick, that's puppeting Ollie, with some kind of British media love, honestly, get over your agenda, get out of this club. Because if there is something deeper to it, it's a disgrace. And I genuinely believe there's something deeper to it. I don't believe how 2 managers can absolutely love Maguire, love McTominay, hate Donny, hate Bailly. It doesn't make sense. You should be rewarded on form, not who you are. Alanga, I like Marcus Rashford. I've made some tweets back in Marcus Rashford saying, let's not turn on him. Let's just say he's in poor form and criticise him. I've said about Marcus Rashford, we can criticise him, but let's not turn on him. He is a good player. I like Marcus Rashford, but Alanga put in a more convincing performance for 70 minutes and got subbed off than Rashford does all season. If that was Rashford and not Alanga, and Rashford was having one of his poor games, he wouldn't have been subbed off. Alanga was having a good game, he got subbed off. Alanga got subbed off because he was tired. Matic and Fred were tired, they played crap, they didn't get subbed off. Alanga, who played well and was a threat, got subbed off. Which I also don't get. Amad Diallo couldn't even get on the bench out of 2 goalkeepers. If Amad Diallo was a British kid, he'd be on that freaking bench. Just saying, there's too much of a British love at Manchester United. There's too much of a British love. Kumaran says we have to beat Brentford or top four is actually gone. We have to beat Brentford. We should beat Brentford. We are a better team than Brentford, but we must beat them. And look, I have a feeling about the Brentford game that we are going to go back to McFred and we are going to go back to Maguire and for Lindelof and all of that. But what I will say is I really liked that back five. Now, I think Shaw is better than Tellers and I'll stick with that. But put Shaw in for Tellers and that's our best back five at Manchester United because actually the defence weren't really at fault for both goals. They came from the midfield. And I really liked that back five at Manchester United, I will say. And I don't want Maguire coming back in. And you know what? I don't actually want McTominay coming back in. Even though McTominay's been all right under RANGNICK, I'm quite happy leaving it the way it is. I'm quite happy leaving it the way it is, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really am. Guys, please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more, smash that subscribe button. I'm going to be live pretty much every evening this week, giving you all the latest news regarding the transfer ins and outs throughout January and United news. Tuesday night, I'll be live for the Manchester United versus Brentford match preview, where I'll be talking about how Ralf Rangnick is likely to line up versus Brentford, who I think is going to play versus Brentford, as well as some team news ahead of the Manchester United-Brentford game. And on Wednesday will be a Manchester United versus Brentford watch-along, so do make sure you subscribe to that, because I do watch-alongs and match reactions to every Manchester United game, as well as match previews, as well as news updates and all of that. Chris says the Fridge will be back versus Brentford, and Chris, I think you are right. I think Maguire will be back versus Brentford. Subscribe to the channel if you're a Manchester United fan and you think Harry Maguire should be dropped as Manchester United captain. It costs nothing to subscribe. So everybody, we are 6 subscribers away from 27.2k. So if you're not subscribed, just go subscribe because we are 6 subscribers away. But what I do want to say as well, by the way, guys, is I don't want to comment too much on the Martial Ragnick drama because we don't know the full story, but there's something going on at this club. Oh, great. Ben White greater than Moran, Saka greater than Sancho and Greenwood. Look, you're an Arsenal fan, you're having a good season, but the last few seasons it's been the other way around. Next season it could be the other way around. You know what? Ben White isn't better than Moran. All right, Ben White is not better than Rafael Varane. Varane has been brilliant this season. He's just been injured. Saka's having a better season than Sancho and Greenwood, but Greenwood's still got more goals than in the Premier League than Saka has in his whole career, and Greenwood's playing for a shit United side. But you know what? He's having a better season, well, that's it. Smash a like if you want McTominay and Maguire to leave Manchester United. I don't mind them as squad players. I just don't want them starting week in, week out. I actually have no issue with McTominay and Maguire. I just don't think they're good enough to start week in, week out for Manchester United. I really don't. But yeah, they're Arsenal fans. Arsenal fan. This is the thing. For once, Manchester United are the banter side and not Arsenal. It's normally been the banter side the last few years has been Arsenal, not Man United. Arsenal haven't been in the Champions League for 5 years. They used to be in the banter side, and it's just switched roles for one season. United have just been worse than Arsenal for one season, and the Arsenal fans are absolutely loving it. But I tell you what, Arsenal, you can get hyped up. You can get hyped up all you want because you are playing good football. Your youngsters are performing, and you look like you've got a good future ahead. Okay, I will say that, Arsenal. But you do get hyped up, and reality always hits Arsenal fans. I tell that to the Arsenal fans, reality will hit. Now, before I get into the next topic, I just want to say that today's video is sponsored by Manscaped. Guys, it's a really, really good opportunity to get 20% off Manscaped and free shipping if you use the code ATF. 20% and free shipping. You could save a nice amount of money, and there's so many products on Manscaped. You should go check out Manscaped. If you want to keep your balls intact, that is the place to go. I'm talking ball trimmers, I'm talking sprays, I'm talking everything you need to keep tidy down below on Manscaped. And obviously, you know I'm not a man. I don't use Manscaped and all of that. But most of my audience are men. And I will say from a woman's perspective, men that use Manscaped, they do get a little bit more, I think. I think they get a little bit more, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? And one of the best things on Manscaped that you should go check out is the Lawnmower 4.0 ball trimmer. Okay? It allows you to customize your trim for the additional guard lengths 1 to 4. And you know what they say, trimming the bush makes the tree look longer. But also, it has wireless charging. It's waterproof so you can use it in the shower. It's the best jet that you can get. 20% off Manscaped, guys. It's now your opportunity to get a brilliant deal on Manscaped. Use the code ATF. Highly recommend. But back with the show. Alice, Varane isn't what we expected of him. I think Varane's been brilliant this season. I think Varane had one bad game where he was a bit shaky when he got back from injury. But Varane has shown this defence levels. Manchester United with Varane and Manchester United without Varane, there is levels in it. There's absolute levels in it. Am I gone freaking blurry again? I've gone freaking blurry again. Why is my screen gone blurry again? Freaking hell. What is wrong with my Wi-Fi today? I'm gonna have to share I'm gonna share my screen, guys. What is wrong with my Wi-Fi today? I'm just gonna share the screen so hopefully it's less blurry. I do apologise about that. But I forgot what I was saying. Now Varane's been good. Varane has been good this season. Yeah. No one. Oh, I missed the comment. There we go. No one knows Arsenal in Europe anymore. They're not in the conference, so I can't take banter from other clubs than Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal have a right to banter United fans just yet, considering how shit Arsenal have been. But it is what it is. Frenchie said, Brett Sport said you brought him into play with Martial and Pogba, and you dropped Martial and Pogba. This makes no sense. Maybe, but yeah. I don't understand it. And Dev, thanks for the super chat. But he says United are 10 years behind City and now 2 years behind Arsenal. I mean, we can't be 2 years behind Arsenal when we finished above you last season. You didn't get Europe, but we are behind Arsenal right now. It's the Glazers fault. You know what? We're fed up with Alice exposing us. The Glazers are fed up of me exposing them for not carrying out the club. So they've gone and they've decided let's fuck with my Wi-Fi because my Wi-Fi has been atrocious today. SO16 with a comment here saying if this continues, we will lose big players like Ronaldo, Cavani, Pogba, Donny, Martial, Lingard, Henderson, Mata, Matic, and Baye, and this will be a more disastrous as we won't be able to replace all in one season. This is the thing. I think next season it's going to be can we get top four? And you know how the attitude this season was title race. I think next season we're going to lose a lot of big players, and the attitude for next season is can we get top four or not? It's going to be hard to get top four because realistically, Baye's gone. Okay. Mata and Lingard are gone, so there's no backup to Bruno if he gets injured. Donny will go, Pogba will go, Matic will go. The only 3 fit midfielders we're going to have is Bruno and Muckfred, which don't work. So we're going to have to bring in at least a minimum of 2 midfielders to get by, but we really need 3, especially if there's injuries. We're going to probably need another attacker for Cavani going, Martial going, and Ronaldo going. So we're going to need a striker. We're going to need another 3 midfielders, and we're going to need a centre-back at least. That's 5 players. The Glazers will get a minimum of 3, which will be a striker and 2 midfielders. We'll be short on centre-backs. The full-backs, I don't know if they're good enough either yet. Will the striker be good enough? And I think it will be a season where, all the teams above us push on, but because we lose all our main players, Pogba, Martial, Donny, and we keep all the shit British players because we're favourites FC, we will struggle. I think we will struggle next season, and I think we'll struggle the season after. And I hate saying this because we're at the end of a 3-year rebuild. We had a 2.5-year rebuild under Ollie. We built our best squad per Sir Alex Ferguson, and that squad's destroyed itself through some of the players' fault, through some of the players' ego, but also the board. The board not signing a CDM to make, if the board had signed a CDM in the summer, we'd have the final piece of the puzzle, and we'd have a team that could win a title, And we have lost a lot of games in midfield, and I think the midfield is responsible for a lot of bad performances. But also Ollie being too soft on the players, Ollie letting the mentality drop at Manchester United, the standards being allowed to drop. This is on the board for employing Ollie and his coaches for too long, allowing the standards to drop, keeping players with a negative mentality, not throwing out the bad eggs. Mata should have gone 2 years ago. Lingard we should have got rid of in the summer. Not saying that they're bad eggs in terms of the dressing room, but players that are just eating off the wage bill and not contributing. This is on the board. We're letting players eat off the wage bill and not contribute. You didn't sign a CDM. You've let the standards drop. That is one of the big problems at Manchester United. That is one of the big problems at Manchester United. And it's all on the board because this club could generally take 2 years to rebuild. Thanks, Steph, for the super chat. You guys need to stop going for big names like Ramsdale, Tomiyasu. No ego, but 100% work rate. You need that all band side. And you know what? I do agree with that comment, Dev. I think we've got, Varane's been a brilliant signing. Sancho hasn't. I think Ronaldo's been a decent. I don't think Ronaldo's been the problem at Man United, so I think he's bailed us out, if anything. But maybe United need to stop going for egos. Maybe we need to go for players that want to be here. Maybe we need to go for a Tuchemini HAIDARA rather than go right for the big guns. Because there is an ego problem at Manchester United. We need to go for players that are going to give it their all and want to be here. The problem is there's players like McTominay that give it their all and want to be here. There's players like Daniel James that give it their all and want to be here at Manchester United. But are they good enough for Manchester United? That's been a big question as well. Bruno has been garbage. He got us top 4 the last 2 seasons. Bruno was brilliant the other day, though. Bruno was brilliant the other day. And guys, we want to hit 300 likes on this video. We want to hit 300 likes on this video. So could everybody go ahead and smash that like button? Can we hit 300 likes by the end of the video? We've got 300 people watching. If you all smash that like button, it costs nothing. We can get 300 likes. That would be appreciated. And by the way, guys, We're also 3 subscribers away from 27.2k. If there's 3 of you watching right now that are not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, it does cost nothing to subscribe, so please do subscribe. We only need 3 more people to subscribe to hit 27.2k. And I do daily Manchester United content on the channel. I do watch-alongs to every Manchester United game. I do live match reactions. I do live match previews. I do short videos. I do transfer news updates. For everything Manchester United, for daily Manchester United news, content updates, and more, subscribe to the channel if you're new, because we're 3 subscribers away from 27.2k. So it would be appreciated. Andrew says scouting recruitment has been off for years by players that don't fit manager system and don't look into it mentality. Yeah, because Manchester United will rather get the manager's 4th choice player that's cheaper than the 1st choice player and the player that the manager really wants. Because we are, as I said, Shambles FC. We're not Manchester United. We're Banter FC. We're Joke FC. We're Shambles FC. We generally, you can't take Manchester United seriously, because we're not a serious club. Because if we were a serious club, we'd be getting a CDM. Apparently, according to Build, and Build is a very, very reliable source, and it's just come out right now, that Manchester United have opened talks to sign Amadou HAIDARA, who will be 30 mil. Now, I'm not going to get too excited by this. It is a reliable source saying we've opened talks, but we've just opened talks. We've just shown an interest in HAIDARA, a player that Ragnick wants. Isn't it weird that whenever we drop points, we get linked to a CDM the next day, then a few days later it gets debunked? Laurie Whitwell said it's unlikely that Manchester United will sign someone in January. Laurie Whitwell is a very, very reliable journalist. Unless this story escalates, I don't think United are going to sign a CDM in January. However, I think they'd be stupid not to. I wouldn't be surprised if we signed a CDM in January, because surely the club have woken up and now realised if we don't sign a CDM, we won't get top 4. So maybe they will sign a CDM, and ZAKARIA is 6 million. However, I think the timing of the story saying we're going to sign a CDM is, just a little bit of a PR spin. Thank you to Kerry for subscribing to the channel as well. She's just subscribed. But according to Build, Manchester United have open talks with HAIDARA. And Laurie Whitwell says that Dennis Zakaria has not convinced the Manchester United scouts of his long-term sustainability, and that's why we're not going for Dennis Zakaria, which makes sense. Look, if United sign HAIDARA, he's a Ralph Ragnick player that he's a player that Ralph Ragnick wants. I'd be happy. And look, if we do sign HAIDARA, if there's any big updates with HAIDARA to Manchester United, of course I'll be live to update you guys on all the latest with HAIDARA. But it's just come from Bill today that we finally opened talks with HAIDARA. However, I'm not going to get too into that just because it's United. Could it be a PR spin? However, if I think there is some truth in this HAIDARA to Manchester United story, I will do a video on it, because I think there is something. I think that United could sign a CDM because we need one, but I don't trust Man United to sign a CDM. So if you're not subscribed, do make sure you subscribe, because if you want to stay up to date on whether United sign HAIDARA or not, make sure you're subscribed, because if we do sign HAIDARA, if we're about to sign HAIDARA, I will go live to update you guys. So do make sure you subscribe and smash a like as well on the video. Farouz says we've been linked with Haaland at some point. Haaland would never come to the mess. Haaland ain't coming to Manchester United, guys. Haaland's the dream. We want Haaland. We're getting, Cavani's going, Martial's going, Ronaldo's likely to go if we don't get top 4. If we don't get top 4, there's no way in hell Haaland's going to Man United. Honestly, if I'm going to be real with you guys, I never believed that we were going to get Haaland anyway. But Haaland is not coming to Manchester United. Like I could confidently say that, and I hate saying that, but I could. I remember saying Fred will be an amazing Man United fan saying Fred will be an amazing signing. I thought Fred would be a decent signing, but I said from day one we'd overpay for Fred. Zakaria, a better version of Fred. It probably is, to be fair, but Fred's more reliable because Fred can stay fit for more than 10 games, which some people see as a bad thing. So is Ralph lying or Martial? I don't know who's lying, and I don't want to comment on that. I'm very on the fence. I think there's been a misunderstanding by both parts, but I will say Martial's been treated appallingly by the club, and I will say Ralph Rangnick didn't need to make those comments, but I don't think Ralph Rangnick is entirely lying. I don't think he'd sit there and lie. I think there's maybe a misunderstanding, and that's my honest opinion on the situation. As well. Atalanta versus Inter and Marseille versus Lille tonight. They've all got better CDMs than Man United. And Stephanie says a top-class CDM is an important sign of United to make 100%. And the only thing is, if United aren't getting Zakaria because they don't think he's good enough, I will accept that. Because Zakaria for 6 million is a steal. But again, is he a long-term solution? Probably not. If United go out and you know what, we're going to go for Chouamini, you know what, we're going to go for HAIDARA, go for it. Go for it. But we need to sign a CDM in January. I don't care what your excuses are, United. We need to. People say Rooney to be next United manager. Rooney has to prove himself at a Premier League club and play good, sustainable football. And then I say I'll be Man United manager. But I'm done with club legends. I'm done with club legends. No racism. Yeah, if anyone's being racist in the chat, please don't. We've got to get Declan Rice at United. I'd take Declan Rice. I would love Declan Rice at United, but you know what? I don't want Declan Rice because he would cost us £100 million. And when we need a striker to replace potentially 3 strikers leaving, when we need 2 midfielders, I don't want to spend the whole budget on Declan Rice. For me, Tchouaméni would be a good signing. Basuma would be a good signing. 2 of them are the same price as Declan Rice. I'd rather have Tchouaméni and Basuma than just Declan Rice, and then we spend the rest of the money on maybe a striker. Personally, the 50 appearance Donny post was a joke. Smash a like if Man United posted about 50 appearances for Johnny was a massive joke. And Andrew says for 6 million, who cares if it doesn't work? Sell him for a profit, but at least gives us something now. Yeah, if we can't get HAIDARA and if we're not going to pay the money for HAIDARA, get ZAKARIA. For me, if we don't sign anyone, it's a disgrace that we haven't got ZAKARIA. For me, there's probably better options out than ZAKARIA, but because he's 6 million, we either sign ZAKARIA or we sign someone else. We have to sign a CDM in January. I don't care who, we have to sign one. If we can't get someone brilliant, sign ZAKARIA. And Andrew says Tchouaméni is as good or better than Rice and likely less than half the fee. Exactly. For me, I'll be Tchouaméni, but I think he'll go to Chelsea. I think because Chelsea is smart, unlike us. Chelsea is smart, unlike us, unfortunately. Top club sleeping on Basuma. Someone will take him. I'll probably go to Villa and be brilliant, and then we'll want him for 100 million in 2 years, or we'll go to City for 100 million in 2 years. That'll happen with someone like Basuma. Just in though, guys, from another journalist, Jonathan Schrager, who's a very, very reliable journalist, saying there's now an open dialogue between Manchester United regarding HAIDARA and talks are in primary stages. So it's just come out that United are in talks for HAIDARA, which is an interesting story. What I will do is let me share my screen with you guys. This is just the story that's sort of come out now. There's another story about HAIDARA coming out, which is interesting. It could be PR spin, so I'm not going to comment too much on it. But maybe there could be something going on. And look, as I said earlier in the video, if we do sign someone, if we're about to sign someone, of course I'll go live to update you guys. So if you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more, do subscribe, because it looks like Manchester United have gone in talks for RB Leipzig's HAIDARA. So if any relevant updates come out on that, if we are going to sign them, I will do a video. So potentially, any updates happen with HAIDARA. If HAIDARA is likely to happen, there will be a video tomorrow. So if you want to stay up to date with all the latest on HAIDARA to Manchester United, find out if it's going to happen or not, make sure you're subscribed. Because if we sign a player or we're about to sign a player, I will let you guys know. This is just talk. This is just talk about it now. But if it looks like we're going to sign him, of course, I'll be updating you guys on that. So if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, HAIDARA news, updates and that, please do make sure you subscribe to the channel. It'll mean a lot. But I am going to end the live stream here. But thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's live stream. It was a good live stream, good show with everyone. I will just throw out, please go check out Manscaped. Please go check out Manscaped if you haven't already, though. While we end the show, my last message is go check out Manscaped, because if you use the code ATF on the Manscaped website, you can get 20% off. You can get 20% off Manscaped right now and free shipping, and you can get all the products you need for your balls over on Manscaped. And if you use the promo code ATF, 20% off and all of that. So we are a little bit laggy. I'm going to end the live stream here. I will give you some transfer news updates tomorrow. There's a bit of a story coming out about HAIDARA as we speak. So if you do want a few transfer news updates and all of that, I will be live tomorrow. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel to stay up to date. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time, guys. Bye.